Ambassador Sarah Chen stood in the grand chamber of the Galactic Council. The room was massive, with crystal walls that showed the stars beyond. 47 different alien species sat in their seats, arranged in a perfect circle. Each seat floated in the air, held up by technology so old that nobody remembered who invented it. Sarah had been Earth's ambassador for 12 years now. She was tired, not the kind of tired that sleep could fix, but the deep tired that came from years of being treated like a child who should be grateful just to be in the room. The Galactic Council had existed for 12,000 years. 47 species working together to keep peace in the galaxy. At least that was what they said. Sarah knew better. The council was where the old species came to feel important, while the young species did all the real work. Humans had joined the council 73 years ago. It happened right after humanity invented faster-than-light travel. The aliens had been watching Earth for centuries, waiting to see if humans would figure it out. When they did, the council sent a welcome message. Humanity was so excited. Finally, they were part of something bigger. Finally, they had friends among the stars. That excitement died quickly. The council gave humanity a list of rules: where humans could go, where they could not go, what they could build, what they could not build. The list was long, but humanity followed the rules. They wanted to be good galactic citizens, and humans were good citizens. Better than good. Whenever a trade route had problems, humans fixed it. When two species started fighting, humans helped them find peace. When a colony needed food or medicine, humans brought it. When old technology broke down, humans figured out how to repair it. Humans were everywhere in the galaxy, helping everyone. They asked for nothing in return except basic respect. They did not get it. Today was proof of that. The council was voting on something called the Species Contribution Act. Every species had to pay money to the council, based on how much territory they controlled. It sounded fair until you looked at the details. Humans controlled very little territory, just Earth, 14 colony worlds, and a few space stations. That was nothing compared to species like the Vrexians, who had 300 worlds. But humans did far more work than the Vrexians. Humans maintained trade routes across half the galaxy. Humans ran medical programs on 60 worlds. Humans had invented the translation software that let all the species talk to each other. None of that mattered for the act. Humans would pay the same as species who did nothing, but sit on their planets and complain. Sarah had filed an appeal 3 months ago. She explained everything humans did for the galaxy. She showed the numbers. Humans spent 40% of their entire economy helping other species. The appeal asked for a simple exception. Let humans pay based on what they could afford, not on arbitrary rules. The council had ignored the appeal for 3 months. Today they finally voted on it. The vote took 30 seconds. 45 species voted no. Only 2 voted yes. The Thalians and the Keepers, both species that humans had saved from disaster in recent years. Even they looked embarrassed about voting yes. Sarah stood at the speaker's platform, her hands gripping the edges. She expected the no vote. What happened next was worse. Councillor Vrexthon of the Vrexian Empire asked to speak. The Vrexians were an old species, proud and powerful. They had been in the council for 8,000 years. Vrexthon was typical of his people, tall, covered in silver scales, with eyes that looked at other species like they were insects. I want to address the human appeal, Vrexthon said, his voice echoing in the chamber. Humans seem confused about their place in this council. They believe that doing tasks makes them special. It does not. Several councillors made sounds of agreement. Humans are like gardeners, Vrexthon continued. They tend the flowers and trim the hedges. This is useful work, yes. But a gardener is not the same as an architect. We, the elder species, we are the architects. We designed this galactic civilization. We maintain its structure. We make the important decisions. He looked directly at Sarah. His eyes were cold. If humans cannot afford the basic dues of galactic citizenship, perhaps they are not ready for it. Perhaps they should return to their small corner of space and grow up a bit more. Come back in a few centuries when you understand how civilization works. The chamber was silent. Some counselors looked uncomfortable. Most looked bored. A few looked amused. Sarah felt something break inside her. Not her heart. Not her spirit. Something deeper. It was the last bit of hope she had been holding on to. The hope that maybe someday these people would see humans as equals. She had given 12 years to this job. She had missed her daughter's childhood for this job. She had worked 90-hour weeks, traveled to hostile worlds, negotiated impossible treaties, all for this job. And after everything, they called her a gardener. No, not even that. They called her entire species gardeners, useful servants who should be grateful for the chance to serve. Sarah took a slow breath. She gathered the papers in front of her, putting them carefully into her bag. She turned off her translator earpiece. She straightened her jacket. The council watched her, confused by the silence. "Ambassador Chen?" the council speaker asked. "Do you wish to respond?" Sarah looked around the chamber one last time. She saw species that humanity had saved from starvation, species that used technology humans had invented, species that owed their peace to human negotiators, species that had been rescued by human ships. Not one of them would meet her eyes. "I see," Sarah said quietly. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "We will consider our position carefully." She walked out of the chamber. Her footsteps echoed in the silence. Behind her, the council was already moving to the next topic. They had forgotten about humans before Sarah even reached the door. Sarah walked through the long hallways of the council building. Past the murals showing great moments in galactic history, humans were in some of those murals now, painted in after the fact, always in the background, always helping, never leading. She reached her shuttle and sat in the pilot's seat. She did not cry. She did not scream. She just sat there for a moment looking at the stars. Then she opened her communication device and typed a message to Earth, to the President, to the Prime Ministers and Premiers and Chancellors, to the United Earth Government. The message was short. They will never respect us. Recommend immediate withdrawal from all galactic affairs. Will explain everything when I return. Ambassador Chen. She sent the message and started the shuttle's engines. 3 months later, the United Earth Government held a vote. Every human on every world got to participate. The question was simple. Should humanity withdraw completely from the Galactic Council and all galactic affairs? 94% voted yes. The next day, humanity recalled every ambassador, every negotiator, every peacekeeper, every aid worker, every technician. They closed every embassy. They evacuated every outpost. They pulled every ship back to human space. They did not send an explanation. They did not make threats. They did not declare war. They just left. And then humanity went silent. The galaxy would soon learn what happens when you lose something you never valued until it was gone. 3 months had passed since the humans left. The Galactic Council chamber felt no different. The same 47 seats floated in the same circle. The same counselors sat in them, discussing the same kinds of problems they always discussed. Except now there was an empty space where Ambassador Chen used to stand. At first, nobody worried. Some counselors even seemed relieved. Finally, Counselor Vrexthon had said on the day humanity's withdrawal became official, "Now we can govern without constant interruptions from the newcomers." Several species had agreed. The Mexilans said they were glad to have less chaos in the chamber. The Vorki said humans had always been too emotional for proper diplomacy. Even some of the younger species, trying to impress the older ones, made jokes about the gardeners going home to their garden. The celebration lasted about 6 weeks. The first sign of trouble came from the Thalian Confederacy. They sent an urgent message to the Council. The beacon Route 7 had failed. This was one of the major hyperspace routes, connecting 15 star systems. Thousands of ships used it every day. The beacons that marked the route were ancient technology, older than most species in the galaxy. They had been working for millennia. Now suddenly 3 of them had gone dark. "Send your technicians to repair them," the council speaker told the Thalians. "We do not know how," the Thalian representative admitted. "Humans were maintaining the beacons. They never told us how." The council was quiet for a moment. "Then activate the backup beacons," someone suggested. "The backups are also dark. Humans were maintaining those too." It took 3 weeks to find someone who could fix the beacons. By then, trade through that route had completely stopped. 17 colonies ran out of essential supplies. The economic damage was counted in billions of credits. The second sign came from the mining colonies on Kelthar Prime. It was a small problem at first. The life support systems started making strange noises. Then the air started smelling wrong. Then people started getting headaches. The colony administrator called their government. The government called the council. The council sent specialists from the Vrexian Technical Institute, the most advanced engineering school in the galaxy. The Vrexian engineers arrived and examined the life support system. They worked for 2 days. Then they sent a report. This system is based on human design. It has 17 subsystems we do not understand. We cannot repair it. We recommend immediate evacuation. The colony had 80,000 people. They had 72 hours of safe air left. Frantic calls went out across the galaxy. Did anyone know how to fix human life support systems? Did anyone have the technical documents? 3 colonies had copies of the documents, but the documents were in human technical language, filled with terms and concepts other species did not understand. One species tried to follow the repair instructions anyway. They made the problem worse. The air started running out faster. In the end, all 3 affected colonies had to be evacuated. 80,000 people from Kelthar Prime, 45,000 from Velmora Station, 92,000 from New Thespia. More than 200,000 people became refugees. The evacuation itself cost lives. Ships crashed. People panicked. 17 died on Kelthar Prime when a shuttle malfunctioned during the emergency launch. Nobody mentioned that humans would have fixed the problem in a few hours. The third sign was the war. The Corventhi and the Mexalans had been fighting over a border region for centuries. Every few decades, the fighting would start again. And every time, human peacekeepers would step in and calm things down. The humans had been on the Corventhi-Mexalan border for 53 years. Their presence kept the peace. Both sides hated admitting it, but both sides had stopped shooting because humans asked them to. Now the humans were gone. It started with small things. Border patrols getting too close. Trade disputes. Insults exchanged over communication channels. Then someone fired a weapon. Then someone fired back. Within 2 weeks, the war was raging again. Thousands died in the first month. The council tried to send new peacekeepers. The Vrexians volunteered. They arrived at the border and immediately took the Corventhi side, making everything worse. The Vorki tried next. They were so aggressive that both sides started shooting at them. The war continued. Nobody could stop it. Councillor Vrexthon sat in his private office reading reports. There were so many reports now. Problems everywhere. Things breaking down. Systems failing. Conflicts starting. He tried to ignore the pattern, but the pattern was obvious. Every problem was in an area where humans used to work. His assistant entered the office. Counselor, another situation. The medical crisis on Valoria Prime has worsened. They are requesting emergency supplies. Send them supplies from the nearest medical depot. Sir, the supplies they need are human-designed pharmaceuticals. Nobody else manufactures them. We have some in storage, but those will run out in 6 months. Frexthon felt something cold in his chest. What about the formulas? Can we make the medicines ourselves? The formulas are proprietary human technology. They never shared them. They used those medicines all across the galaxy. They must have shared the formulas. The assistant shook his head. We checked. Humans gave the medicines away for free. They never charged anyone. But they never shared how to make them either. We always thought. We assumed they were simple medicines, nothing special. We never bothered to learn. Vrexthon stood up and walked to his window. He could see the council building from here, its crystal spires reaching into the sky. How many worlds are dependent on human medicines? He asked. We are still counting. At least 60 worlds rely on human pharmaceuticals for critical treatments. Another 200 use them regularly. 60 worlds. Critical treatments. 6 months of supplies left. And the agricultural situation? Vrexthon asked, though he was afraid of the answer. 23 worlds are reporting crop failures. They all use human-developed seeds. The seeds were engineered to be sterile after 1 generation, so farmers have to buy new seeds each year. The farmers bought from human companies. Those companies have closed their galactic offices. How long until those worlds face famine? If the current crops fail completely, 8 to 10 months. Vrexthon closed his eyes. The communication network? Deteriorating. The galactic internet is losing nodes. Humans built the network infrastructure. They were maintaining it. Now sections are going dark. We estimate total collapse in 14 months if nothing changes. The assistant hesitated, then continued. Sir, there is more. Our analysis teams have been reviewing galactic systems. It appears that humans were involved in far more areas than we realized. They were maintaining hyperspace beacons, They were running logistics algorithms for trade. They were providing disaster relief. They were training students. They were funding research. The list goes on. How much of our civilization was dependent on human work? The assistant pulled up a data pad. Current estimates suggest humans were directly or indirectly supporting 40 to 60% of all galactic infrastructure and services. The number hit Vrexthon like a physical blow. 60%, more than half of everything that made galactic civilization work. They did all that and never asked for anything, he said quietly. No, sir. They just asked for respect. Vrexthon looked at his reflection in the window, a proud Vrexian counselor, a member of a great and ancient species, a leader in the galaxy, an idiot who had called humanity gardeners. He tried to contact Earth. His messages went unanswered. He tried to send ships to human space. They were turned away by automated defenses. No violence, no threats. The defenses simply scanned the ships and politely told them to leave. Humanity had built a wall around their space. And behind that wall they were silent. The galaxy was beginning to understand what it had lost, but it was too late to say sorry. Not yet. 8 months after humanity went silent, the galaxy was falling apart. The Galactic Council met every day now, sometimes twice a day, trying to manage one crisis after another. But the crises kept coming faster than they could solve them. Zixthra sat in the archive library, surrounded by old records. She was young for her species, barely 30 years old. She worked as a research assistant at the Galactic Historical Institute. Nobody important. Nobody who mattered. But she had been friends with human researchers. Real friends, not just colleagues. She had gone to dinners at their homes. She had met their families. She had learned about Earth and its history. She missed them. And she was terrified by what was happening to the galaxy. The numbers were everywhere in the archives. She had been searching through old records for weeks now, trying to understand. What she found made her sick. Humans had filed 10,347 patents since joining the council. Every single one was marked public domain. They had given it all away for free. Faster engine designs, better medicine formulas, stronger materials, clean energy systems, all free. Other species filed patents too, but they charged money for them. They protected them. They made profits, not humans. Humans just gave everything away. Zixthra found educational records next. Over the past 70 years, humans had trained 240,000 alien students in human universities. They taught engineering, medicine, agriculture, computer science. They charged no tuition for alien students. Earth governments paid for it. She found disaster relief records. In the past 70 years, humans had responded to 392 natural disasters across the galaxy. Earthquakes, floods, volcanic eruptions, disease outbreaks. Humans came with supplies, with expertise, with medicine. They asked for nothing in return. The more Zixthra searched, the worse it got. Humans had been running food programs on 48 worlds. Free food for the poor. They shut down when humans left. 30 million people were going hungry. Humans had been providing free internet access to remote colonies. 600 colonies lost their connection when humans stopped paying for it. Humans had been funding medical research across the galaxy. 43 different research projects lost their funding overnight. They had been doing all of this quietly. No announcements. No bragging. They just did the work, and the galaxy had called them gardeners. Zixthra printed everything she found. She compiled it into a report. She titled it The Hidden Foundation, a study of human contributions to galactic civilization. She sent copies to every counselor. Most ignored it. A few read it. None responded, but word started spreading anyway. Young researchers like Zixthra talked to each other. They shared what they were finding. The truth was getting out slowly, like water seeping through cracks in a dam. Meanwhile, the galaxy's problems accelerated. The economic collapse came first. Galactic trade had depended on human logistics software. The software used advanced algorithms to route ships efficiently, avoiding delays and dangers. It saved trading companies billions of credits every year. The software stopped working properly when humans stopped updating it. At first, the changes were small. Ships took longer routes. Deliveries were late. Then the problems got bigger. The software made mistakes. Ships got lost. Cargo went to wrong destinations. Trading companies tried to build their own logistics systems. They could not match what humans had built. Trade costs increased by 40%. Small companies went bankrupt. Large companies struggled. The Galactic Credit Union, the banking system that connected all the species, started having problems. Strange transactions appeared. Money vanished from accounts. Security systems failed. Investigators discovered that humans had been protecting the banking system from quantum hackers. The investigators did not even know quantum hacking was possible until they found evidence of humans stopping it. Thousands of times. Every day. Now humans were gone and the hackers had free reign. The council tried to secure the banking system. They failed. 3 major banks collapsed. Millions of people lost their savings. Then came the military crisis. Pirates had always existed in the galaxy. Usually they were a minor annoyance. They raided remote colonies, stole cargo from weak ships, then disappeared. Except they were only a minor annoyance because humans had been hunting them. Human patrol ships, fast and well-armed, had been chasing pirates across the galaxy for decades. The pirates feared human ships. They stayed hidden, only attacking when they were sure no humans were nearby. Now humans were gone. The pirates realized it quickly. Pirate attacks increased by 800%. They grew bolder. They raided major trade routes. They attacked colony worlds. They even struck at military targets, stealing weapons. The Council sent warships to fight the pirates. But Council warships were designed for big battles between species, not for chasing fast raiders. The pirates ran circles around them. 14 species were also fighting small wars with each other. Border disputes, resource conflicts, old grudges. Before, humans had mediated these conflicts or stopped them with peacekeepers. Now the conflicts just burned. The Corventi-Maxallan War was the worst. 50,000 people had died. Both sides were losing, but neither would stop. Pride mattered more than lives. On the council floor, arguments raged every day. "We must force humans to return," the Vorkee counselor shouted. "They have a moral obligation to help." "How?" someone else asked. "Send warships to Sol? Attack them. Make them help us at gunpoint." Uncomfortable silence filled the room. Nobody wanted to say it out loud, but everyone was thinking the same thing. Human space was protected by defensive systems that made attacking impossible. And even if they could attack, did they really want humanity as an enemy? "We should apologize," the Thalian counselor said quietly. "We were wrong. We should admit it and ask them to come back." "Never." Frexthon stood up, his scales shimmering with anger. "The Vrexian Empire does not apologize to children who throw tantrums. Humans left because they were too immature to handle criticism. If they wish to return, they can come back and apologize for abandoning their duties." But Frexthon's voice sounded hollow even to himself. He had been reading Zixthra's report. He knew the truth now. And the truth was crushing him. The galaxy did not collapse all at once. It was like a building with thousands of supports, and humans had been holding up half of them. Now those supports were gone, and the building was falling down slowly, one piece at a time. Food shortages spread. Medical supplies ran out. Communications failed. Trade stopped. Wars started. Pirates attacked. The old systems broke down. Species that had existed peacefully for centuries started panicking. They hoarded resources. They closed their borders. They turned on each other. The Galactic Council, which had kept peace for 12,000 years, was powerless. They could not fix the problems because they did not know how. They had relied on humans for so long that they had forgotten how to do these things themselves. Or maybe they had never known in the first place. Zixthra watched it all from her archive library. She sent more reports. She begged counselors to listen. She explained that the galaxy needed to ask humans for help, not demand it. Ask respectfully. Admit the mistake. Nobody listened to a junior researcher. Then the plague came. It started on 3 worlds simultaneously. Nobody knew where it came from. The disease spread fast. It killed fast. 10% of people who caught it died. The rest were sick for weeks. Doctors tried everything. Nothing worked. The plague kept spreading. 10 worlds, 20 worlds, 50 worlds. Someone found an old research paper. Human doctors had studied this kind of disease 20 years ago. They had developed a cure. The cure was sitting in human medical databases, probably just waiting to be used. But humans were behind their wall of silence. And the galaxy was dying. Billions of lives hung in the balance, And all because the galaxy had been too proud to treat humans with basic respect. Zixthra had tried everything else. Now she was trying something desperate. She sat at her communication terminal typing a message to an old friend, Dr. James Park. They had worked together for 3 years before humanity withdrew. He was a xenobiologist, studying how different species evolved. She was a historian. They had written 2 research papers together. They had spent late nights in the lab, drinking terrible coffee and arguing about theories. She missed him. She missed his laugh. She missed his stupid jokes. She missed having a friend who treated her like an equal instead of a junior assistant who should stay quiet. She did not know if her message would get through. Humanity had blocked all communications. But she had to try. The message was simple. James, it's Zix. I know you probably can't respond, but I need you to know that some of us understand now. We see what humanity did for us. We see what we lost. I'm sorry. Please, if you can, tell me how to help. The galaxy is dying and I don't know how to fix it. She sent the message and waited. Days passed. She checked her terminal every hour. Nothing. Then on the 7th day, her terminal chimed. A response. Her hand shook as she opened it. Zix, good to hear from you, friend. I can only talk for a few minutes. This channel won't stay open long, but I wanted you to know that we've been watching. We know what's happening, and it breaks our hearts, she typed back quickly. Then come back. Help us, please. His response took a few minutes. When it came, it was longer. That's what everyone thinks we should do. Just come back and fix everything. But Zix, you need to understand something. We didn't leave because of the money. The Contribution Act was just the final insult on top of 70 years of insults. We left because we were tired of being treated like servants while doing the work of partners. I know. I've been researching everything humans did. I've been trying to tell the council. And they're not listening, are they? She sat back in her chair. He was right. They were not listening. Zix, do you know how many times we warned the council about problems? How many reports we filed that got ignored? How many times we tried to teach other species to maintain the systems we built? She did not know. 2,713 official warnings over 70 years. We told them the beacon system needed redundancy. We told them the banking system was vulnerable. We told them the trade network was too centralized. Every single time they said we were being naive or overdramatic. Every time they dismissed us, James continued. We tried to train other species. We offered free courses in everything. Engineering, medicine, agriculture, computer science. We begged species to send students. Do you know how many students applied to our training programs in the last 10 years? How many? 3,000. Out of a galaxy of trillions. And most of those 3,000 only came because their governments forced them. They thought learning from humans was beneath them. Zixthra felt sick. She had been one of those rare students who wanted to learn from humans. She had seen how advanced their knowledge was. But she remembered the other students, the ones who complained, the ones who said humans were showing off, the ones who dropped out because they did not want to learn from a younger species. We gave everything, James wrote. We shared our technology. We solved your problems. We died in your wars trying to keep peace. We asked for nothing but basic respect. And what did we get? We got called gardeners. We got treated like servants. We got paid less than species who contributed nothing, I know. It was wrong. I'm sorry. You personally have nothing to apologize for, Zix. You were always a good friend. But the galaxy as a whole? The galaxy needs to learn something. What? That you can't take people for granted. That respect matters. That the quiet people who help without asking for credit are often the ones holding everything together. The galaxy needed to learn what it's like to live without us. People are dying, Zixthra typed. Her fingers were shaking. The plague, the wars, the famines. Billions will die if nothing changes. The response took a long time. She imagined James on the other side, struggling with what to say. We know about the plague. We've been monitoring it. We have the cure. We've had it for 20 years. Then please, send it. Humanity debated this for 3 weeks. Every day watching the death counts rise. Do you know how hard that was? Watching people die when we could save them? Then why don't you? Because if we just come running back the moment things get bad, nothing will change. The galaxy will take us for granted again. They'll use us until they don't need us, then disrespect us until they need us again. That's not a relationship. That's servitude. Zixthra wanted to scream at him, but she understood. She hated it, but she understood. So what do we do? Just let everyone die? No, humanity made a decision. We will help any species that asks. Really asks. Not demands. Not orders. Not you have a moral obligation. Just a simple, respectful request for help. The Council won't do that. They're too proud. We know. That's the tragedy of all this. Pride will kill billions before it allows for a simple apology. She thought about the Council chamber, about Councillor Vrexthon and his speeches about Vrexian superiority, about the Vorki demanding humans return to do their duty, about all the old species who would rather die than admit they were wrong. What about individual species? She asked. What if one species asks for help? Then we help them immediately, no conditions. No payment required, just respect. And the cure for the plague? It's ready. The moment someone asks properly, we'll give it away for free, just like we always did. Zixthra looked at her screen. An idea was forming. James, I need to go. Thank you for talking to me. Any time, Zix, I mean that. We might have left the Council, but we didn't leave our friends. You can always reach me. The connection closed. Zixthra sat in the silence of the archive library. She had a choice to make. Inside human space, Dr. James Park sat in his office at the New Cambridge Research Institute. Earth had changed in the 14 months since withdrawal. Without the burden of maintaining galactic civilization, humanity had turned all that energy inward. They had made incredible progress. The quantum computer network was finally working. The first stellar engineering project had begun. Medical technology had advanced by decades. The colony worlds were thriving. Humanity was happy. For the first time in 70 years, they were building for themselves instead of for others. It felt good, but James could not feel good about it. Not completely. Because every day he checked the reports from galactic space. Every day he saw the death counts rising. His colleague, Dr. Sarah Martinez, came into his office. You talked to your friend? Yeah, Zixthra. Good person. She understands what happened. Do you think they'll ask for help? The Council? No, they're too proud. Individual species might. I hope they do. Sarah sat down. Do you think we made the right choice? Leaving? James thought about it. He had been thinking about it for 14 months. Yes, he finally said. We had to leave. We were burning ourselves out trying to help people who didn't respect us. We were teaching our children that it's okay to be treated badly, as long as you're useful. That's a terrible lesson. But billions might die. They might. And that's on the Council, not on us. We offered help. We just asked for respect in return. That's not too much to ask. Sarah nodded slowly. I hope someone asks soon. Me too. They sat in silence. Two humans watching the galaxy burn, holding the cure in their hands, waiting for someone to have the courage to simply ask. In the archives, Zixthra was making her decision. The Council would not ask. The proud old species would not ask. But she could ask. She was nobody important, but maybe that did not matter. Maybe the galaxy did not need its leaders to save it. Maybe it needed someone brave enough to admit the truth and ask for help. She started typing a new message. The plague had reached 87 worlds. 2 billion people were infected. 300 million had died. The numbers grew every day. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. The chamber was packed. Every counselor was present. Fear hung in the air like smoke. We must contact humanity, the Thalian counselor said. They have the cure. Everyone knows it. Then we shall demand they provide it, the Vorki counselor shouted. They have a moral obligation. You cannot withhold life-saving medicine. It is a crime against all civilized species. Counselor Vrexthon stood up. He had been quiet lately. The past months had changed him. He looked older now, tired. And what will demanding accomplish? He asked. We have been demanding for months. They do not answer. Then we send warships. We force them. Force them how? Attack Earth? Start a war during a plague? Send soldiers to die on human worlds while our own worlds are dying? The Vorki counselor sat down angry but silent. We need to face the truth, Vrexthon continued. His voice was heavy. Humanity left because we treated them terribly. We used them. We disrespected them. We called them gardeners and servants. And now we want them to save us anyway without even apologizing? What kind of civilization are we? The Vrexian Empire does not apologize to inferior species. Another Vrexian counselor said. Vrexthon looked at him. Then the Vrexian Empire will die proud and alone. Is that what you want? The council erupted in arguments. Species blamed each other. Old alliances cracked. Some wanted to apologize. Others refused. The session ended with nothing decided. Rexthon returned to his office. His assistant was waiting with more bad news. The plague had reached 3 Vrexian worlds. His home world was one of them. He sat at his desk and put his head in his hands. He was one of the most powerful people in the galaxy. He had ships. He had money. He had influence. None of it mattered. He could not stop the plague. He could not save his people. His terminal chimed. A message from someone unexpected. Sixthra, the junior researcher who had been sending those reports. He opened it. It was short, Counselor. I asked humanity for help. I apologized for how we treated them. They said yes. They are sending the cure to any world that requests it politely. No payment, no conditions, just ask. Please tell your people. Please save them. It is not too late. Rexthon read the message 3 times. That simple, just ask? No grand apology before the council? No formal treaty? Just ask? He checked the reports. It was true. 5 species had quietly contacted humanity in the past week. All 5 had requested help politely. All 5 had received the cure immediately. The medicine was already working. The plague was stopping on those worlds. 5 species had been brave enough to ask. 42 species were still too proud. Rexthon thought about his home world, about his family there, about billions of Rexians dying because their leaders were too proud to say sorry. He made a decision. He recorded a message. He made it public, broadcast across the entire galaxy. Every species would see it. Every person would hear it. In the message, he stood in his office wearing simple clothes instead of his counselor robes. My name is Rexthon of the Vrexian Empire. I am a counselor in the Galactic Council. And I was wrong. He took a breath. This was harder than he expected. 73 years ago, humanity joined our council. We should have welcomed them as equals. Instead, we treated them as servants. We used their help but gave them no respect. I personally called them gardeners. I said they were not architects of civilization. I was wrong. Humanity built half of our civilization. They maintained it. They improved it. They shared everything they made. They asked for nothing but respect. We did not give it to them. When they left, we blamed them. We called them immature. We said they abandoned their duties. But they had no duties to us. They were helping because they are kind, not because they owed us anything, and we mistook their kindness for weakness. Rexthon felt his voice crack. He kept going. Now we are dying, and humanity has the cure. They have had it all along. They offered it to us. They said they would help anyone who asked politely. Do you know what we did? We demanded. We threatened. We claimed they had a moral obligation. No, we have no right to demand anything. We have no right to their help. If they choose to let us die, that is justice for how we treated them. But I do not want justice. I want mercy. So I am asking, not as a counselor, not representing the Vrexian Empire, just as one person to another. Humanity, please help us. Please share the cure. We do not deserve it, but we are asking anyway. And to my fellow counselors, to all the species of the galaxy, I say this. Pride is not worth dying for. Being right is not worth watching your families die. I am resigning from the Galactic Council effective immediately. I am taking my personal ship to Sol System. I will wait at their border for as long as it takes. Until they agree to talk, or until I die, whichever comes first. He ended the recording and sent it out. Then he did exactly what he said. He took his small personal ship, loaded it with supplies, and flew to Sol System, alone. He reached the border of human space. The automated defenses scanned his ship. A message appeared on his screen. This is the border of the Human Systems Alliance. Entry is not permitted. Please turn back, Rexthon sent a response. I am not requesting entry. I am requesting conversation. I will wait here. I will wait as long as necessary. No response came. He waited. 1 day, 2 days, 7 days. His supplies would last for 60 days. After that, he would die. He had made peace with that possibility. On the 14th day, his communication system activated. A human face appeared on his screen. An older woman. She looked familiar. Ambassador Chen, Vrexthon said. He almost could not speak. Counselor Vrexthon. Her face was neutral. Though I hear you are no longer a counselor. No, I resigned. I could not represent a government too proud to do what was right. And what do you think is right? Admitting we were wrong, apologizing and asking, not demanding for your help. I've been watching your broadcast. It has been interesting. 68 species have contacted us in the past 2 weeks, all asking politely for help with the plague. We have sent the cure to all of them. 68? That was almost every species in the galaxy. Your speech helped. People needed someone important to admit the truth first. You gave them permission to ask. I should have done it sooner. I am sorry. So many died because of my pride. Ambassador Chen was quiet for a moment. Why did you come here? Why wait at our border? Because words are easy. I wanted to show that I meant what I said. I wanted to risk something. My time, my pride, my life if necessary. You were willing to die out here? Yes, it seemed like the least I could do. She looked at him for a long time. He could not read her expression. Counselor Vrexthon, humanity will help the galaxy. We never stopped wanting to help. We just needed the galaxy to see us as equals instead of servants. Do you understand now? Yes, I understand. I'm ashamed it took so long. Good, shame can be useful. It means you have learned. Will you return to the council? I do not know if they will have me back. They will need someone who understands what happened. Someone who learned. I think you should return. But this time not as a representative of Vrexian pride. As a partner to all species, including humanity. Vrexthon felt something he had not felt in months. Hope. Will humanity return to the council? Not yet. The galaxy needs to change first, but we will help. We will share the cure for the plague. We will send aid. We will even help repair some systems, but on our terms. As partners, not servants, that is fair. More than fair. We are proposing something called the Accord of Sol, a new agreement. Species who sign it agree to mutual respect as the foundation of all cooperation. Help is given freely but never taken for granted. Technology is shared but with proper credit. No species is better than another, regardless of age or power. I will bring this to the council. I will advocate for it. I know you will. That is why we agreed to talk to you. Ambassador Chen smiled, just a little. You can go home now, counselor. Your people need you, and you have work to do. The screen went dark. Vrexthon sat in his ship alone at the border of human space and cried. For the first time in his long life, he cried. 10 years later, the galaxy was different. The plague was gone, cured by human medicine that humanity had given away for free. The wars had ended, with human mediators helping find peace. The economy had recovered stronger than before, with systems built on cooperation instead of exploitation. The Galactic Council had reformed. Humanity had returned, but not as the quiet helpers in the background. They held senior positions. They had a real voice, and other species listened. Sixthra was no longer a junior researcher. She was the director of Galactic Relations Studies. Her first report had changed everything. Now she advised the council on how to build real partnerships. Dr. James Park ran a medical exchange program. Thousands of alien students studied at human universities now. They came to learn, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Because they respected human knowledge. And Counselor Vrexthon, who had returned to the council, had become humanity's greatest advocate. He never forgot the lesson he learned. He never let others forget it either. He gave a speech at the 10th anniversary of the Accord of Sol. Humanity taught the galaxy something important, he said.